Morning, everyone. The quarterly meeting of the Texas State University Board of Regents is now reconvened in open session. We have a quorum present, and the date is November 18th, 2022. And the time is 10:13 a.m. Please note for the record that Regent Nikki Harrell is absent. President Danfus, thank you and your team for a wonderful evening. It was great. The singing and the band were fantastic. It was very talented. So we all enjoyed it, I know, in the region. So it was a lot of fun, and certainly got to see a lot of the students. Whoever was orchestrating that, they did a fantastic job. Thank you for that. Our first order of business this morning is the Student Advisory Board report. I would like to invite each of the presidents to introduce their SAB members. President Danfus, would you begin the introductions?
It's my pleasure to do so. I'll start, though, with our student regent, Gabriel Webb. Gabriel is a sophomore majoring in chemistry, former football player, but current member of the Dean's List, which is way more important, member of College Republicans, and also a part of the Olympic weightlifting team. So in many ways, he's almost as athletic as I am, so I'm proud of you, Gabriel. Yeah, he's trying to be like me. Great. So we have two members of the representatives that are here today. Malik Johnson. Malik, will you please stand? Malik is a student body president here at Texas State. He's a junior majoring in public relations. He's from Houston, Texas. He plans to focus on communication, safety, support, and modernizing tradition here on our campus as a student body president. He works as the liaison between the students and administration and acts as the voice of the students. And his goal is to overall improve the overall Bobcat experience. After graduation, he aspires to enter the consulting field. Thank you, Malik. Next to him is Kirsten Florence. Kirsten is the student body vice president. She's a sophomore in business management from New Braunfels, Texas. She's a sophomore majoring in business management. In addition to being a full-time student, like many of our students, 70% of our students actually have jobs. But she actually has 3 jobs. She's a dance instructor, office manager, a guest advocate, and a barista. She loves Texas State and has wanted to be a Bobcat since she was a little girl, she says. And her brother, Andrew Florence, also serves as Texas State's student body vice president a couple of years ago. She loves to dance, was the captain of her high school dance team, and has been dancing since the age of 3. Thank you, Kirsten, for your service.
Dr. Hernandez.
Thank you, Chair Austin. It's my pleasure to introduce Anique Lopez. Anique is a senior kinesiology pre-physical therapy major from San Antonio, Texas. She's a Student Government Association vice president at Sullivan State University. She also serves on a student support service as a student support service president and was awarded the Student of the Year for 2021-22. Additionally, she serves on 3 other campus committees to help make Sul Ross a better campus for the future. She's also just recently was crowned homecoming queen at the university, so we're proud of Anique. We're also represented by Elisa Sayes. Elisa is a senior kinesiology major hailing from El Paso, Texas. She's a first-generation college student who plans to be a physical therapist. Elisa is very involved on campus from serving as a student government president, resident assistant, kinesiology club officer, part of the QEP committee, as well as a Lobo ambassador. Elisa enjoys being very involved because she likes meeting new people and wants to make a change and leave her mark on the university. And lastly, we have Heaven Briseño, who is a communication broadcast media junior student from Lockhart, Texas. She's studying communications and broadcast media, hoping to one day work in the film industry. She is the first in her family to graduate from high school and is a first-generation college student. Heaven is currently a member of the Student Government Association. She joined SGA to get more involved around school and to get an insight into a public relations career. Heaven plans to create a more welcoming environment at Sul Ross State University and make sure that students think of Sul Ross as a second home. She hopes to give students more of a voice and better opportunities to further their academic careers. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hernandez. Dr. White?
Thank you, Chair Austin. It's a pleasure to introduce Sam Houston State University students to you all. First, I'd like to introduce Joseph Chavez. Joseph currently serves as a Student Government Association president. He is a senior majoring in business management and minoring in economics. During his time at Sam Houston State, he has been active in Phi Delta Theta fraternity, the SHSU elite program. He's a part of the TRIO learning community, and he's a very popular host of the students' award ceremony called the Sammies. Joseph is a first-generation college student. He hopes to inspire students to become more involved on campus and within the community, and I believe in the next few years we'll be voting for him, or at least having an opportunity to vote for him in some major election somewhere. I don't know where, but it's going to happen. Thank you. Also with us today is Veronica Calderon. Thank you. Veronica is currently serving as Student Government Association Vice President. She's a rising junior majoring in psychology and minoring in criminal justice. She plans to pursue a career in the criminal justice system that involves both psychology and social work. Throughout the past 2 years, she's been heavily involved with student-led organizations on campus, including Compassion Collective and Delta Xi Nu Multicultural Sorority, Incorporated. She strives to impact others, and she does, and she wants to leave a lasting impression on campus, and you'll hear from her in a few minutes.
Thank you, Dr. White. Dr. Johnson?
Good morning. I'd like to introduce to you Greg Harmon. Greg's from Vidor, Texas. Greg is the president of our Student Government Association, and Greg served as a senator last year of the SGA. He's studying business management. He has a successful woodworking business and is actively involved in his church and community service in Southeast Texas. Secondly, I'd like to introduce Ryan Wisłowski from Orange, Texas. Ryan is the vice president of our Student Government Association. Ryan previously served as the SGA secretary and most recently was a member of our 2021 class of LSCO ambassadors. Ryan is studying process operating at Lamar State College, Orange. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Dr. Renard?
Good morning. I'm happy to introduce two students from Lamar State College, Port Arthur, that are here with us this morning. The first student is Emily Ordonez. Emily is the current president of the Student Government Association. She is a first-generation student and is majoring in vocational nursing. Emily actually is from New Rochelle, New York, but currently resides in Port Neches, Texas. Also with us this morning is Juana Alvarez. Juana is the current SGA vice president and is also majoring in vocational nursing. Juana is from Winnie, Texas. She is a first-generation student and eventually plans to become a pediatric ICU nurse.
Dr. Valentine?
Okay. Jaime just showed me how to use the microphone, so I'm ready to go. First, I would like to introduce Miss Whitney Pugh. Okay, I didn't see you over there. Whitney is a Smith-Hudson Scholar, currently LIT's SGA president. She is currently pursuing an associate's degree in management development with a focus in small business. Upon graduation, she plans to pursue a bachelor's and master's degree in marketing, and she is a freshman from Beaumont, Texas. We then have Asia Ashen. Miss Asia is currently working towards an Associate of General Studies, then intends to further her career goals in obtaining a bachelor's degree in marketing and communications. Miss Ashton is an active participant in Skills USA and is currently the state and national champion in prepared speech. She is a sophomore from Houston, Texas. Then we have Mr. Ryan McLean. Ryan is a sophomore pursuing a Computer Drafting Technologies AAS degree. He's a recipient of the Ralph K. Mock Jr. Memorial Scholarship Endowment of 2022 and is also a veteran of the United States Marine Corps. Upon completion of his undergraduate studies, he intends to transfer to Lamar University and apply as a civil engineering student specializing in structural engineering. Thank you.
Dr. Taylor?
Yeah.
I have the honor of introducing two students from Lamar University. First, SGA President Christian Guillory. He'll stand up. He is a junior, double majoring in finance and accounting. He is also the on the College Business Advisory Council to the Dean, and was former president of Helping Hands. Next, I'd like to introduce Student Body Vice President Luis Ramirez. He is a mechanical engineering major, junior status. He is the president or vice president of the American Society of Mechanical Engineers and president of the Society of Hispanic Engineers. Both Christian and Luis have took it upon themselves to get students more engaged on campus this year, and they've done an excellent job of that. They've shown leadership. They get out to all the events themselves, but clearly the rest of the student body sees them as leaders, and they come out as well. So really increased student activity.
Thank you, President. So this morning's breakfast, we had a chance to sit with students, and Bill and I. And so certainly the quality of our students here and their time with us is certainly, for us, what we enjoy the most, since that's what we're here for. So I can only say breakfast was fantastic. It's better every time. And the students, thank you for coming and joining us. With that, I want to turn it over to our Student Advisory Board Chairwoman, Anique Lopez from Sul Ross State University. Please come forward to the podium and provide us with your report.
Good morning, Chairman Austin, Honorable Regents, and Chancellor McCall. My name is Anique Lopez, and I'm the Student Body Vice President at Sul Ross State University and Chairwoman of the Texas State University Student Advisory Board. On behalf of the Student Advisory Board, I will address the first topic of the report. Malik Johnson, Student Body President at Texas State University, will discuss our second topic, and Veronica Calderon, who is Student Body Vice President at Sam Houston State University, will introduce our third and final topic. Our first topic is active shooter drills and campus training. On May 24th, 2022, a gunman shot and killed at least 21 victims, including 19 children and 2 teachers, and wounded at least 17 others at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde. This resonates strongly with all of our hearts because the 2 teachers were Sul Ross State University alumni with siblings in relation to Texas State University students. This tragic event and the many before it raises one question: how do we plan to keep our students safe at all of our institutions? The Student Advisory Board would like to focus our attention on implementation of active shooter drills and reviewing the current safety protocols within our residence halls that house thousands of students across all of our universities. In reference to GVpedia gun violence research, Texas currently holds a rating of F, which is considered a weak law state regarding firearm laws. States with weak gun laws have had 5% more mass shooting and 50% more mass shooting fatalities than states with strong gun laws. Taking these statistics into consideration, it is important to recognize that at any of our institutions, they can potentially be the location of one of these shooting fatalities at any point in time. It is our job to provide students, faculty, and staff with the correct training and knowledge to be prepared for the events that may possibly occur but can be mitigated if the right protocols and procedures are taken into place. Since every situation is different, there is no universal solution to stopping mass shootings. However, there are some broad actions that can be taken to lessen the frequency of these tragic events. The Student Advisory Board makes the following recommendations. Our first recommendation is active shooter drills. The implementation of mandatory active shooter drills for all TSUS campuses and all faculty, students, and staff. A TSUS system-wide standard for training that will be followed at all institutions so that the information being relayed is consistent. Even though all schools have active shooter training, it should be the same throughout the system, and that there should be an annual review of what information is being given to faculty, students, and staff. Our second recommendation: all campuses offer an automated alert systems for students, faculty, and staff, and also contractors working on campus. It is important that even individuals who are temporarily a part of our campus are included in these automated alert systems. The recommendation of visual alarms on campuses in public areas to alert those who are even walking outside or not directly on their phones when an automated alert is sent out. Our third recommendation, online safety toolkits for students. The encouragement of information to be made available for students on the campus website. This toolkit will provide an alert fact sheet with a visual representation demonstrating information behind the moment of an attack, emergency procedures, safety tips, as well as an e-newsletter message providing several resources. Our fourth and final recommendation, the implementation of an anonymous reporting system is a way to report crimes or others problems without having to give their name. At this time, I would like to open the floor to the Board of Regents if they have any questions. I would now like to introduce Malik Johnson, Student Body President at Texas State University, who will be introducing our second topic.
Good morning, Chancellor McCall and Honorable Regents. I am Malik Johnson, the Student Body President of Texas State University. It is my pleasure to now introduce to you our second topic, Mental Health Awareness Day. This topic specifically hits home for me because, along with my junior class, because when we began our journey here at Texas State, it was in the midst of COVID, and a lot of our mental health definitely was impacted by that experience. I'm sure along with a lot of the other people in this room. So I think it's important that we make some adaptations throughout the school year, preparing for to make sure that we're preparing our students to be successful in the future. The mental health of college students varies depending on their current set of circumstances. In this day and age, mental health and discussions around it have become more prevalent than ever, with an emphasis on student life. Consequently, there is a great portion of students who might require assistance. But due to lack of awareness of campus resources at each institution, they might not receive adequate care. This can lead them to turning to harmful coping mechanisms, such as substance abuse. According to an article from the American Psychological Association, 3 in 5 college students reported being diagnosed with a mental health condition by a professional. With the array of challenges college students face in their everyday life, like coursework, relationships, and adjustments to campus life, their mental health faces a great risk of deteriorating. Depression and anxiety have been a continuing issue for college students. After the COVID-19 pandemic, these rates have increased substantially. Researchers have discovered that college students' mental health has increased from 2013 to 2021, with depression increasing by 135% and anxiety increasing by 110%. Researchers saw an increase in other mental health categories, including suicidal ideation and substance abuse. Some groups of students are less likely to seek mental health treatment than others a decade ago. 75% of students who suffer from depression do not seek help for their mental health problems, and 44% of college students report having symptoms of depression as a result contemplating suicide each year. If students were to understand the consequences of this behavior and be made aware of how to properly handle their issues, it would not only benefit them, but the schools that they attend. Studies show that marijuana and prescription opiate and stimulant drugs are the most used illegal substances among Texas college students. These statistics should encourage our institutions to display and promote the resources that they have that are available to students to help better their mental health throughout their college years, and that they be reminded that these resources are there for their students without judgment. The Student Advisory Board makes the following recommendations. Our first recommendation, Campus Mental Health Awareness Day. The purpose of this initiative is to encourage students to utilize these resources and learn more about these assets in case they need help with their mental health. In doing so, we hope to ensure that students can address their mental health and get the most out of their college campus experience. This Mental Health Awareness Day will provide multiple benefits, such as encouraging students to ask for help, increase the knowledge of the available resources on and off campus to students, and promote a healthy living and learning community. Our second recommendation, wellness rooms. The introduction of a wellness room where students can use them on a drop-in basis to help with de-stressing and release emotions that have been bottled up. These rooms would essentially be a safe place for students throughout their college experience. As the Student Advisory Board, we would like to see these initiatives be implemented at all institutions within our university system, as it can provide benefits. Now I would like to open the floor to the board for any questions. Now I will introduce the presenter for our third topic, Sam Houston State University's Student Body Vice President, Veronica Calderon. Thank you.
Hello and good morning, Chancellor McCall and Honorable Regents. I'm Veronica Calderon, Vice President at Sam Houston State University and Secretary here of the Student Advisory Board. And I'm here to speak about our third topic, campus sustainability. My small individual and personal efforts are not enough to make the difference we wish to see. Instilling these practices into the universities can be the change we need. There are many reasons why sustainable practices should be implemented on college campuses. As campus sizes and populations grow, we must find ways to preserve our natural resources that are already at our fingertips. By living sustainably, we can reduce pollution, conserve resources like water and energy, and have a positive impact on the environment as a whole. Ways we believe are feasible first steps to a greener system include recycling options on campuses, composting programs, the collection of rainwater, and the use of solar energy. Building these practices at our universities will instill greener ways of thinking and will help fight the problems with not just awareness, but solutions. Our first step would be recycling on campus. A study found that 96.6% of student respondents at the University of South Carolina who lived on campus would recycle their daily paper if there was a drop-off bin at their residence hall floor. Another study found that more individuals living on campus would recycle if it was made more convenient and if they knew what happened to the recycled items after they were collected. It is very clear that more accessible and convenient recycling locations would greatly increase recycling rates on campus and in the community. Our second step would be composting. Schools can create on-site composting programs that utilize school food waste for the production of compost, which can be used for the school grounds or given or sold to nearby farms. On-site composting is not appropriate for all schools. However, where the school has the land and resources to manage a program, it can provide an excellent educational opportunity for students. Our third step would be rainwater collection. Rainwater harvesting is an effective strategy for reducing water use. Over the last decade, Texas A&M University has become a leader in the water conservation and sustainability through its campus-wide rainwater harvesting strategies. Our fourth step would be solar energy. Pollution-free, virtually inexhaustible, safe, and efficient. Solar energy is a clean and renewable alternative to fossil fuels. Solar energy is so abundant that the U.S. could generate about 100 times as much electricity from solar power installations as the nation currently consumes each year. On a practical level, an institution like a university or school will likely have a large electric bill, and solar can help to massively offset these utility costs. The Student Advisory Board makes the following recommendations. Enhance campus sustainability measures. An annual sustainability review and report for each of our 7 institutions that is shared with the Student Government Association of each campus. This would allow for each university to be knowledgeable in how resources are being distributed and what changes can be made to help conserve and contribute to the sustainability efforts. Along with the Student Government Association receiving these reports, we would like our senior student affairs officers to review these reports to help see which departments need a bit more guidance on how they can be more conservative with their resources. We would like to see leftover food at student cafe centers be allowed to be composted by the environmental groups on or around campus. This would help contribute to health and wellness of their environment by keeping it strong and fertilized for years to come. We would also like for the construction of new facilities to consider the use of solar panels as the main source of power to be environmentally friendly. To add on, we would also love to see the collection of rainwater be implemented, as it can be recycled and used for the sprinkler systems and can be given to greenhouses to help support their efforts and contribute to the conservation of water. As the Student Advisory Board, we would like to see these recommendations be considered for the following years to come so that we can contribute to the conservation of our planet, as we only have one chance to take care of it. I will now open the floor for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation and comments. Regents, are there any additional comments or questions?
May I commend you for the work that you've put in this new format whereby you spend several board meetings working to get a very detailed, helpful recommendation to the Board of Regents. And I commend you for these efforts. Good job.
Yeah, I'd reiterate that the causes and what you're thinking through and what we're thinking through as a system are certainly right on the tip of the spear of what society's looking at. So all those things are taken into account. So thank you for your work. The next order of business is Texas State University's campus update. This year's update will be presented by Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Jean Bourgeois.
Chair Austin, thank you. Regents, Chancellor McCall, guests. We're going to do a brief update. It's primarily going to be a video. I think we're all inspired by Vice Chancellor Daniel Harper now to do videos. Now, seriously, building on yesterday's presentation by Shriek Mandiam, who was basically iterating, our run to R1, we want to make sure that you all and all of our stakeholders understand that this is not just about faculty research and run to R1 with faculty. It means involving students in research, from doctoral students to master's students to undergraduate students. And so the video that we're going to show you today kind of highlights 4 of those students and their research experiences at Texas State. So run the video.
I have a very curious mind, and so I've always been that person that asks a million questions. And once I started asking all these questions, it was very comforting when no one said you're asking too much or we don't need to know all that, because you do.
What's most interesting about history is the way in which historians have to navigate the study of history. History to me seems a little bit more solitary. You really just get to connect with the past through the most interesting documents that no one knows about.
My favorite part of research is problem solving. I come from a family where there wasn't many resources available to us. From a very early age, my parents taught me to make the best out of whatever you have. And so when I was introduced to research, and the first couple things that I was doing is, this is our problem, we're looking for a solution, it just kind of triggered something in me. Okay, well, this would be the best way to do it, but we can't afford it. So what's the best cost-effective way of doing that type of stuff?
Currently, I'm actually working with the Mayo Clinic on creating my own research project to bridge the cultural divide between Navajo Nation patients and their physicians. My grandma lives on a reservation. The nearest hospital is like 3-4 hours away, so if anything did happen, there's really not anyone out there to offer healthcare services. They have to transport everything to the Navajo Nation, which is a struggle whenever you're going through a pandemic.
My research to me means almost everything. Not only that I'm able to go back into the communities where I grew up, but to see that something as small as asking a question can change an entire community, because we're not only asking them what we can do for them, but what they need, and then changing our idea of how we look at communities, maybe even in a positive way.
I would say the most interesting research that I've done thus far at Texas State would be my project, which focused on women during World War I. I chose to focus on the women at home and how they faced a national campaign that put them under the threat of incarceration because the federal government believed that women's bodies posed a threat to the war effort because they could spread sexually transmitted diseases. In my research, I found that this campaign to incarcerate women actually expanded the prison system in the United States. And in my research, I argue that the expansion of this prison system has eventually shaped the way our prison system works today. And so I hope that when people learn about this research, they are willing to learn more about how women in the past and women in history have been completely ignored and understudied, and they're able to use that knowledge to share with other people and hopefully know more about the systems that the government has today and how they can affect our everyday lives and our communities that surround us.
Currently, soybean meal and cottonseed meal are the most common protein sources fed to cattle, but soybean meal specifically requires a lot of land and water to produce, so it's not very environmentally sustainable. However, black soldier fly larva it requires significantly less land and water. It has really comparable protein concentrations to the cottonseed and the soybean meal. It would be priced very similar to them. So we're interested in seeing if it is effective as an alternative protein source. We're still in the process of analyzing those results, but existing research has us really hopeful and excited to see what our results are.
The project was basically trying to develop a method that would distinguish between THC and CBD. Atomically, they weigh the same, but structurally, they're different. One is very legal, the other one's very illegal. Usually, if a cop stops you, they will do like quick field tests, but those tests have been proven to be either give a false positive or a false negative. And if it's a false positive, you end up in jail so they could do more studies and lab work backs up. Somehow you end up in jail for 3 months waiting for a result that ends up being negative. We were trying to develop a method to have a quick, effective test, being able to differentiate both of them. Methods like these take like 15-20 minutes, and we were able to do it in 3 seconds.
SRSF stands for Strengthening Relationships, Strengthening Families. And it's a project that trying to give back to our community. Our community did not have an intervention program like SRSF. My idea of working in this project was all to gain those skills to possibly one day return back to my hometown and start a project like SRSF. Other teen parents could not necessarily get stigmatized, but also just be provided the resources and the inspiration to be able to, be successful in life.
We were partnered with a couple of colleges in Arizona and New Mexico. I was actually working with Northern Arizona University on their mental well-being project and how their tribes were offering resources over the pandemic. So basically we were calling up various groups, first responders, teachers, people that have grocery stores and things like that. It was very public health related, and just figuring out what they did for the tribes in the area during the pandemic to kind of lighten the blow on the indigenous communities there.
It is pretty hard to balance doing research, getting ready for grad school, and my personal hobbies and my friends. But for me, doing research is actually fun and enjoyable, and so I don't mind sacrificing some of the things that I like to do in my free time.
I'm very close with my family. I talk to my mom and dad probably every day. My dad, I would call him a lot when I'd have issues with the steers or just kind of questions, and he always has really great advice. If he doesn't know, kind of gives me an idea of where to look for the answers. My dad was a huge support system during my research and my master's as a whole.
With the cultural American Indigenous bridge between physicians and their patients has always been really important to me, and having that opportunity as a pre-med student that is a Native American, that's going to be really helpful going forward.
What keeps me going and what keeps me motivated is a combination of the sacrifices that my parents and my family has done so that my sister and I could have the education that we're obtaining right now.
I am a first generation, and to me, it just means that if I could do it, then others can too. I was raised by my grandmother who did not know how to read or write, and so the ability that she got to see me graduate with a master's degree was impactful, not only for her, but for my family. It means a lot to me, but it also means maybe I can inspire someone else to do it too.
One of the things, if I could tell the university leaders, would be that I appreciate all the work that the leadership has done with the university and all the wonderful things that we're doing.
I would tell them to definitely encourage and push students to engage in their academic work in a way that's exciting to them.
I'd like to tell them that over the years, Texas State has not only grown in size, grown in degree options, but grown in the amazing people that they continue to bring in.
I've absolutely loved my time at Texas State. I came here knowing nobody, and I'm sadly leaving in May, but with this incredible family I've created of friends and faculty, and I just feel so supported, and everyone here is so welcoming. I'm definitely going to miss that sense of community when I leave.
If I was speaking directly to the leaders of the university, I would say thank you. I haven't been able to have this experience previously, to be able to talk to multiple advisors and have a support group. Being so far away from home, it's really made me feel like this was my home from the beginning.
Well, very good. We're running to R1 and running with us and alongside us in our labs, in field work. Historians, even working in archives, are our students. Just one other reminder, our QEP for our SAC COC reaffirmation is undergraduate research. So as this university runs to R1, there will be a concentration, obviously, at the doctoral level in terms of research in those students. But we're not forgetting our undergraduate student population, and we expect them to run with us. One other item, because I heard a few people wondering what the young woman who is the ag student, what was her research project, basically? It was creating pellets out of black soldier fly larvae that is high in protein to be a substitute instead of using soybeans. So that's what she was doing, by the way. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Gene. The next order of business is postponed business from yesterday. We have 3 postponed items from the miscellaneous section. These are the presentations of the 2022 Regents Awards. Will the Foundation Executive Director, Mike Winnemuth, please come forward and explain the resolutions?
Mr. Chairman and Regents, each year the board honors outstanding faculty from across the system with the Regents Professor Award. Since inception of this award, there have been just 39 Regents Professors across the system, and as of today, we have 42. Regents Professor Award is the system's highest faculty honor, recognizing faculty with exceptional records of research, teaching, and service. Regents Professors are nominated by the respective presidents and selected by the Foundation Board of Directors based on the recommendation of an advisory committee consisting of previous winners. At this time, I'll ask Vice Chairman Crane, President Damphus, and President White, as well as our 2022 Regents Professors, to please come forward. And Mr. Chairman, there is a resolution before the board.
Regents, do I hear a motion to confer the Regents Professor Award upon Dr. Jason Kwok, Dr. John Lazar, and Dr. William Lutherschmidt? Motion made by Regent Lee. Is there a second? Seconded by Regent Flores. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? The motion passes.
Just a little bit about our nominees, our honorees. The first honoree is Dr. Jason Kwok, University Distinguished Professor of Piano. Dr. Kwok joined the faculty of Texas State in 2008, having previously served on the faculty of Texas A&M University Kingsville. He earned a BM degree from Eastman School of Music and a master's degree in music and a doctor of music in piano performance at UT Austin. He's internationally recognized pianist, has performed at prestigious venues around the world, presented more than 75 master classes, played an integral role in 4 commercial recordings, performed 22 concerti performances, written a book chapter, and received numerous awards for his teaching, including 2 Presidential Awards for Excellence in Teaching, an Outstanding Collegiate Teaching Award, in addition to his induction into the Steinway Teacher Hall of Fame. Dr. Kwok has served the university by building the Texas State International Piano Festival into a world-renowned event, organized and hosted the Texas State Young Artist Piano Competition, co-founded Trio 488, adjudicated 45 piano competitions, and has shown remarkable leadership in building a strong piano program at Texas State University. Please join me in congratulating 2022 Regents Professor Dr. Jason Kwok. Our next honoree is Dr. John Lazar, who's a professor of school psychology at Texas State University. Dr. Lazar has served as program coordinator for the university school psychology program, chair of the Institutional Review Board, and associate dean in the College of Education. He earned his bachelor's degree from UT Austin, a master's degree from the University of Pennsylvania, and a PhD in school psychology also from UT Austin. He is an internationally respected scholar. He has published 7 books translated in 5 languages, 9 book chapters, and more than 40 peer-reviewed articles. He's given more than 160 professional presentations and served on multiple boards. Dr. Lazar has well served the university by preparing future school psychologists with clinical skills, actively mentoring graduate and doctoral students, and has been recognized through positive class evaluations, exceptional comments, and numerous teaching, research, and service awards, including the Favorite Professor designation, the College Achievement Award in Teaching, and 2 Presidential Distinction Awards in service. Please join me in congratulating Dr. John Lazar as Regents Professor. And our third and final Regents Professor this year is Dr. William Lutherschmidt, Distinguished Professor in the Department of Biological Sciences at Sam Houston State University. Dr. Lutherschmidt has joined the faculty of Sam Houston State in 1998. He holds a BS degree from DeSales University, a master's degree from Southeastern Louisiana University, and a PhD from University of Oklahoma. Dr. Lutherschmidt has published more than 90 peer-reviewed publications, 4 books and 8 book chapters, has given more than 100 conference presentations and 39 invited seminars. He has received numerous awards in teaching and research, including 3 National Science Foundation grants and 2 Excellence in Research Awards. His service to the university includes introducing several new courses to the curriculum, actively mentored more than 50 graduate and undergraduate students, helped direct 7 research centers, and was instrumental in bringing one of the first National Science Foundation-funded research experience for undergraduate programs to the university. Please join me in congratulating Regents Professor Dr. William Luderschmidt. Congratulations, Regents Professors.
Congratulations to our 2022 Regents Professor Award winners.
Mr. Chairman and Regents, our next award category is the Regents Student Scholar Award, which recognizes outstanding students from across the system who demonstrate exceptional academic achievement, leadership ability, and contributions to the institution and their community. Honorees are nominated by their respective presidents and selected by the board of the foundation based on the recommendations of the chancellor. This year, we have two firsts. The first of these is that both honorees are international students, and one is the first male student from the system, not only to ever be nominated, but to be given this award. This time, I'll ask our Regents Student Scholar Award recipients to please come forward, and our presidents. And Mr. Chairman, there's a resolution.
Regents, do I hear a motion to confer the Regents Student Scholar Award upon Mateo Sagitso Alvarez and Precious Arusa? Motion made by Regent Tinsley. Is there a second? Second by Regent Scott. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes.
Regents, our first honoree is Mateo Sagitso Alvarez. Mateo has excelled at the highest academic levels at Sam Houston State University. He's maintained a perfect 4.0 grade point average as a music performance major, earning President's List and Dean's List status every semester since 2019, and receiving several awards and honors, including winning first place in Sam Houston State University's annual instrumental concerto competition, the Fisher Toll Endowed Scholarship, the Nancy Gattner Performing Arts Scholarship, and the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board's Good Neighbor Scholarship. Mr. Sagitso Alvarez has demonstrated exceptional campus involvement, having served as event coordinator for the International Student Organization, vice president for the Sam Houston Orange Keys program, member of the university student orientation team, and a member of the Collegiate Percussion Association. He has been an active member and performer of Sam Houston State University's music ensembles, including the Wind Ensemble, Symphony Orchestra, Jazz Ensemble, Jazz Lab Band, take a breath here for a moment, Percussion Group, Symphonic Band, SHSU Opera, Bearcat Marching Band, Angry Orange Basketball Band, and Commencement Band, where he has welcomed new students and helped them transition into collegiate ensembles. And I'd like to take just a moment to see a little bit of his work. Regents, please join me in congratulating Mateo Sagitso Alvarez as a 2022 Regents Student Scholar. And I think Mateo wanted to say a word or two. Yeah.
Yes, just words of appreciation for everyone that's made my journey possible. Chairman Austin, Chancellor McCall, Honorable Regent, President White, and everyone at Sam Houston that has supported me all these years. So thank you, deep gratitude.
Our second Regent Student Scholar is Precious Orusa. Ms. Orusa has excelled at the highest academic levels at Texas State University, maintaining a 3.93 grade point average as a nursing major, earning Dean's List status every semester since 2019, and receiving several academic awards and honors, including the Texas State Achievement Award and the Star Scholars Excellence Program. She has shown exceptional campus involvement, having served as a member of the Alpha Lambda Delta Honor Society, president of Redeemed Campus Fellowship, vice president of the nursing class of 2023, and a member of the Student Nursing Organization. Ms. Orusa has served her community by volunteering for the Central Texas Food Bank, San Marcos Downtown Cleanup, Great Texas River Cleanup, and programs through the Redeemed Christian Church of God Salvation Center in San Marcos. She has earned the respect of faculty and peers who state she has the intelligence, integrity, and caring spirit necessary to become a competent professional nurse and is able to quickly build rapport and effectively communicate with her patients, classmates, and faculty. Join me in congratulating Precious Orusa as Regent Student Scholar. Ms. Rosa would like to also say a few words.
Good morning. I really couldn't leave without saying something. I would first like to thank God, without whom I wouldn't even be here today. I would like to thank my parents and my guardians for being a huge support system to me through this journey. I would like to thank Texas State University. I really have not had any regrets since I got here. I've had such a wonderful experience. And I would like to thank the Board of Regents for this award and this opportunity. It really does make a big difference to us students. Thank you.
Congratulations, student scholars. Our third award category this morning is the Regents Staff Excellence Award, which honors staff members who demonstrate a strong commitment to the institution and its mission, job competency, collegiality, duration of service, community involvement, and exceptional achievement. Regents Staff Award candidates are nominated by the institution presidents, and the recipients are selected by the Foundation Board of Directors based on the recommendation of an advisory committee. This time I'd like to ask President Johnson and our honoree to please come forward. And Mr. Chairman, there's a resolution for the board.
Regents, do I hear a motion to confer the Regents Staff Excellence Award upon Rebecca McAnally? Motion made by Regent Lee. Is there a second? Regent Flores. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Becky McAnally began her career at Lamar State College Orange more than 35 years ago when she was hired as a student worker and advanced within the college to positions of increasing responsibility, including recruiter, assistant registrar, director of admissions, recruitment and registrar, and assistant dean of student service and registrar. Ms. McAnally has positively impacted the lives of thousands of LSCO students, including many first-generation college attendees who, because of her efforts, could better navigate admissions and transfer processes. She has researched and adopted best practices and worked to modernize internal processes and has been recognized for her work with several awards, including the National Institute for Staff and Organizational Development Award and the President's Merit for Staff Excellence Award. She's deeply involved in the community as a member of the Little Cypress Mauriceville ISD Campus Improvement Plan, served as president of the LCE Parent Teach Organization, and sat on the board of the Orange Campfire Youth Organization, and is widely respected on the LSCO campus. Please join me in congratulating 2022 Regent Staff Excellence Award winner Becky McAnally. And that concludes our award presentation.
Congratulations to our 2022 Regents Staff Excellence Award winner. Mike, I'll ask you to stay at the podium as our next order of business is the TSUS Foundation update.
Regents, the TSUS Foundation Board of Directors, including Regents Motto, Scott, and Harrell, and Chancellor McCall, held its quarterly meeting earlier this week, and I'll provide a very brief summary of items from that meeting. At the end of the third quarter, Foundation assets totaled $5.9 million, with $5.3 million in our brokerage account and the remainder in the Foundation's 3 scholarship and grant accounts. 72% of our brokerage account, the undesignated account, was in equities, 14% in fixed income, and 14% in cash. At the end of the third quarter, the undesignated account was down 19% compared to the previous year, but up an average of 3% over the past 5 years. The equity portion of this account was down 22% over the year, but up 5% on average over the past 5 years. We've talked a little bit about our signature event, TSUS Presents, the Texas State University System Presents. We're proud to announce that this will be held Wednesday, February 22nd at Austin City Limits Live at the Moody Theater. Great venue in downtown Austin. We're very excited about this. This will be the night before our next Board of Regents meeting in Austin. And we're proud to announce that country music legend Dwight Yoakam will be joining us for this with a performance with a special tribute to House Speaker Dave Phelan. It's going to be an amazing event to raise money for the foundation, but more importantly, to showcase our system and our institutions before an influential audience in Austin during the legislative session. So tell your friends. Thank you. That concludes my update.
Are there any questions? Not. Okay.
Any comments? Any questions? Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
The next order of business is approval of the consent agenda. These items are found at the end of each section in the board book. Are there any objections, or would any member like to remove any items from the consent agenda? I move that the items on the consent agenda requiring approval be approved, and that all other items presented for informational purposes and or reviewed and approved at the campus level be acknowledged. Is there a second? Regent Flores. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. At this time, the board will hear any public comments. Is there anyone present who has requested to make public comment? Public comments will be limited to 5 minutes. Seeing none, we'll move to general motions. Having approved the minutes and consent agenda, the next item under general motions is an informational item outlining the dates and locations for next year's board meetings. Please refer to the upcoming dates on the board screen. Our next order of business is the board election. But before we conduct the election, I want to remind the board that our rules restrict current office holders to 1-year terms in the current positions. The rule that I am referencing is in Chapter 1, Paragraph 5, and the rule is titled Officers of the Board of Regents. Having now provided this reminder, would anyone like to make a motion regarding our rule governing board elections?
Mr. Chairman, I would. Because you've provided the board great leadership, you've provided us with wisdom when we need it, and exhibited tremendous judgment And for these reasons, I'd like to make the following motion. Chair Austin, I move that the board rule in Chapter 1, Paragraph 5, restricting office holders to a one-year term in their current positions be suspended, and for 1 year, and allow all office holders to remain in their current positions until November 2023, and I saith not. And further.
Regents, is there a second?
Oops. Yeah, I'm seconding it. Almost knocked the mic out.
Second by Regent Amato. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
The motion passes. Congratulations, everyone. It's certainly an honor to serve. We have great students, great presidents, and certainly a great system. Our support with Dr. McCall and what we do here makes a difference, and certainly makes us all want to be here and serve. So we're very lucky and fortunate to have a great board, and I do appreciate the ability to serve. Thank you. Our next quarterly meeting will be February 23rd and 24th in Austin, hosted by the Texas State University System. If there is no objection, we wish everyone a safe and happy Thanksgiving next week. We will now adjourn this meeting of the Board of Regents for the Texas State University System. For the record, the time is 11:14 a.m.